I've got all this sorted. Here's a nice ruby, natural ruby and gold ring. That's Mother Nature right there. You can tell it's kind of milky. Over here we've got a diamond and blue sapphire 14K gold ring. Diamonds. Here is a emerald and diamond. Real diamonds. That's a fairly big diamond right there. Probably almost a 10th carat. Very nice. Then I got a couple of earrings here. Diamonds. Both of those. And then I got some rubies here. And these are real nice. These are opals. And they got some nice color going on in there. Here's an opal and diamond ring. That would make a nice matching set. And then I've got another opal pendant that's got some fire down in it. And then of course we've got our carat gold that we're going to be refining. Got it all sorted out, ready to go. These are some pieces that I'll just set to the side. They're white gold. And what I'll do is just save them and refine them separately, because white gold sometimes contains platinum group metals. There's an old 14K white gold pin. Let's see if I can find the mark on it right there. See that? 14K. Those are diamonds. We'll just set these to the side and I'll let it accumulate until I got enough white gold to do a refining. I'll just gather these things into a bag and I'll put them in the ultrasonic cleaner and steam them off, get them all squared away. And then we might list some of these items on my eBay site for sale. I've got a bunch of little stones here that I removed from this carat gold. And so what I do with those is I just scoop these down into a little cup and hang on to them. Might be able to use them to repair someone else's piece later on down the line. Back here is a tub of silver. There's probably 1 kilo of sterling silver in here. And we don't buy investment grade pure silver. We buy it like this and we pay a fraction of what the value of the silver is. Also, I've got some gold filled material. So we'll be, that's probably enough to do a batch of gold filled scrap coming up soon. So we'll be looking at doing that here very soon. This 3 Tips bought this at a sale. I think she paid $2 for it, something like that, because there's no watch in it. There's no movement. So we've got a coin silver. I think it says coin on there somewhere. What's that say right there? Coin. So it's probably 90% silver. She paid $2 for that, man. Let's see how much this thing weighs. And people just don't understand precious metals. It's not their fault. They've grown up. We've got an entire generation who has been conditioned to believe that currency is more valuable than these metals. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Let's see. 90% silver, so we've got about 100 grams, say 3 troy ounces of silver in this blank watch case. $100. We paid $2 for it. Let's get a measurement on this material. First, the 14K stuff. And it looks like we got 124.8 grams of 14K. 10K is 88.3 grams. 10K, 88.3 grams. And now This is our 18K stuff. Looks like we got 22.5 grams of 18K. I've calculated that I need 256 grams of sterling silver to quart the gold. Our estimated yield from this group will be 126.3 grams of 24K. So now I've got the silver sitting right here, ready to go. And I'm going to use 262 instead of 256. That'll be just fine. Now we'll take all this out and quart it out on the melt table.
Ran out of acetylene, and so we're going to have to start all over now. Here's our puck of karat gold that's had some sterling silver alloyed with it. And over here, I still got some more silver pieces that I need to add. So we're going to go ahead and start melting this. Here's our granules of imported gold. Stuff came out looking pretty good. Now what I'll do is transfer this into a beaker. We'll start processing it.
Here's our beautiful imported gold. We've got the alloy down to around 25% gold, and the rest silver and base metals in there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set this up on our heat source. I don't have any heat on yet, and here I've got some used nitric acid from a previous refining and some 50/50 dilute nitric acid left over. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to put this on time lapse. We're going to start adding these nitric acid doses into our imported gold. Now that the carat of the gold has been reduced down to 6K or 25% gold, now we can use this nitric acid to pull the silver and base metals back out, and I'll pour it off into this silver jar right back here. So here we go. We're going to get started with that right now. Pull this off the heat. We're starting to get a little bit of water hammer. It's popping. And I've got a flask. I'm going to save the acid. We're going to set this back up on the heat now. Look at our beautiful gold in there. Add some water, a little bit of distilled water. We're going to turn the heat down on this now and let this just kind of soak and boil a little bit in some distilled water. I had this on boiling gently in plain distilled water. We'll pour this off now into our silver jar back here. That gold, man, it looks absolutely stunning. Water in here. Don't want to set a hot or an empty beaker on a hot plate by itself, or it will crack. A little bit more distilled water. Now some more nitric acid. And the longer we spend here pulling the base metals and silver out of here with nitric acid, the easier the refining will be. Gold has been boiling in the nitric acid for several hours. And so now what we're going to do is go ahead and take it off the heat, and I'm going to dump out the nitric acid that's in there into a bottle down here. Adding some distilled water. I'm going to boil it one more time with just a little bit of distilled water. We're done with the recovery. Now we can move on to the refining process. And here's our pure gold ready to be refined. I'm setting this on the heat source over here. And what we'll do is add hydrochloric acid. I'm going to go with about up to the 400 milliliter level. Now let's make it 450. Adding a little bit of sulfuric acid. What this will do is this will precipitate out any lead that may be present. About 1 milliliter should do it. I'm going to measure out. Let's see, let's go with about 40 milliliters of nitric acid. Putting this on time lapse, I'll add the nitric acid in there to form aqua regia, and we'll dissolve this gold. Here we go. If you look at the bottom of the beaker down there, we just got a few little pieces of undissolved gold left in there. And what we'll probably do now is just we're going to add drops at a time of nitric acid until we get the rest of that gold to dissolve. Here we go. Let's put a few drops in, that much, half a milliliter. There it goes. Dash of hydrochloric acid just to freshen it up in there a little bit, not much. A few more drops of nitric acid, and then we'll just let this reduce for a while and see if we get the rest of that gold to go in solution. I've got it evaporated down. This gold solution looks superb. Pull it down off the heat, let it cool down. You can see we've got some particulate loading the filter up now. Our solution down here is a little bit cloudy, so what we're going to do now is pass that liquid through the same filter a second time. And what this will do is, since the filter's loaded up now with some particulate, it'll be able to filter out even finer particulate that's suspended in this liquid. We're going to pass it through that same filter a second time. See if we can get this to clear up. Here we go. After that second pass through the filter, the solution is crystal clear now. So what I'll do is, here's what we got in the filter. You can see that residue. I'm not going to rinse the filter down into our main solution. Just sit it back here in the back, and we'll rinse the filter down into a separate flask and recover that later. I've got a beaker here with some ice in it. We'll transfer our crystal clear solution into this beaker with the ice. Now we're going to add some stump out. But first, getting in here, doing a status test because I always forget to do this. I know there's golden solution, but it's a good practice to check each solution before we do the precipitation. Here we go. SMB going in. This is going to be about 4 troy ounces. So it should take 6 or 8 spoons. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're starting to see some white foam up on top. That should do it. Here's our pure gold powder, rinsed and ready to go. I'm going to dissolve it a second time. I'm going to put some hydrochloric acid in here with the gold. Fill it up to about, like we did last time, about 450 milliliter level. I will go to 500. Now we'll set this up on our heat source over here. Put a cover on it. I'm dissolving the gold a second time. I'm using 29% hydrogen peroxide. And I've got it in this funnel rigged up to drip it in real slow. The hydrogen peroxide is ice cold. That's why you see that fog on there. I'm going to start dripping it in down into the beaker and dissolve the gold a second time using hydrochloric acid and hydrogen peroxide. I used about half of the hydrogen peroxide. Pretty much got all this gold to go in solution. There's just a few crumbs left down in there. We're not going to worry about trying to get every single crumb of gold to dissolve. We'll go ahead and kill the power, get this down off the heat, and let this cool down. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add a few drops of sulfuric acid just in case any lead has made it this far into the process. Get that stir bar out of there. A little bit of gold left down at the bottom of the beaker. That always happens when I use hydrogen peroxide. Someone gave a good explanation of why that happens, but I can't remember what it was. So we'll just get the gold solution off of that, and those few crumbs of gold we'll put into our temporary waste container. You can see there's about 1/10 of a gram maybe that didn't dissolve. We'll just go ahead and add that to our temporary waste container. Here's the filter. There's almost nothing in there. That's a sign we've got some high purity gold. And here's our solution, crystal clear. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. We're going to bring up the waste container. We're going to transfer this little bit of gold down in here into this waste container. The waste container contains gold from rinsing and other activities that I do with the gold, and I just let it accumulate in here. And then we go in there later on and recover the gold out of there, refine it and make it into an ingot. We're going to prepare to do a gas precipitation. We're going to put some of our stump out in this flask. Add some water to make a slurry. This is what I use for sulfuric acid. It's called Ruto Professional Drain Opener. And according to the data sheet, this is 93% sulfuric acid. Ready to go. The gas generator is connected to a bubbler jar back there, and then the gas comes out of this tube, bubbles through this delivery tube. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and start some acid flow down into the gas generator and see if we can start making some SO2 gas. There we go. It's going to drip it in slowly like that. You can see the bubbler back there. Now we're making SO2 gas. This reaction works best from a dilute solution, so we're going to add distilled water to dilute our gold solution. I'm going to take my delivery tube, put it down into the chloroauric acid solution. I'm going to start bubbling SO2 gas through this solution to precipitate out the pure gold. Just up here somewhere so we can keep track of the time. See, there's a layer of gold forming on the surface that's floating on the surface there. Gas flow slowed way down. Let's see what we got for a Stannis test in here. We've got all the gold to precipitate, so the reaction is complete. I think we're just about done here. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the acid flow. Let this last bit of gas go through our solution. I like to wait until it completely settled out, but kind of pressed for time. I'm trying to get this video posted this evening. There's some gold that's floating on the top here. Let's try to get that locked down. Here's our gold bar that we just got done refining. It's got a mirror finish on it, just gorgeous. And let's see, what were we looking for here? We were looking for 126.3 grams from this group of gold. And our actual weight on this thing is going to be 124.3. So we're under by 2 grams. That's not unusual. Carat scrap is never plumb. It's usually under by just a little. So, okay, we got a nice gas precipitation out of this one. Double refine, redissolve with hydrochloric and hydrogen peroxide. That will conclude the video. Thank you for watching.